The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we're going to work a little bit deeper into some angel insights. We're going to ask the angels for some guidance and just, some positives that we can find perspectives to use the energies that are rolling in. We're looking at astrology and numerology today for what's called the Lionsgate portal that happens on August 8th of every year. There's always a Lionsgate portal. This is in astrology, that's what they call it, and I'm going to explain what is that exactly, and the aspects that numerology brings into it as well today. So we're going to look at both, and we're going to ask for those insights on, okay, now what do we do with all of that? To me, when I read and I study up on what all of this is to deliver to you today, it's really positive. Well, everything does have a positive. There's always a negative, there's always a positive. It's what we choose to focus on. So this is going to help with manifesting. This is going to help with what we're setting our intentions moving forward. Remember, this whole month is preparing us for the last 4 months of the year and then rolling into 2021. So we've had an interesting year already, and it continues to be so. So that's what we're talking about. Now, the Lionsgate portal is considered a very high vibrational time, and it does have significance in numerology and astrology, which is what we're going to talk about. We have intentions where we could do a lot of healing, especially heart chakra. You can work and connect with your intuition abilities, like or your psychic abilities, if you feel more activity with that, or you're working with that and wanted to listen to your angels yourself, which everybody can do if they want to. Also, other higher dimensions. It could just be you're going to get a visit from someone you love that's crossed over, or spirit guides, or anything like that. So also in that, we want to make sure we're connecting with something of high vibration and divine energy, not to lead us astray, and things like that. But you set that intention to connect with those higher vibrations. So you're protecting and you're shielding up. So you don't have to be afraid of that. That's always a question that somebody asks me. And honestly, I don't want to connect with anything until I know that I put that intention up to where that's all I want coming through. And that's all I do. And that's what works for me. You want to trust that. So let's talk a little bit about this Lionsgate portal. It is activated in numerology by the 8-8. So that's an 8. The sun will be in the Leo season, and it's about the rising star Sirius, which is also considered to be our spiritual sun, versus our solar sun, which brings life to the physical world for us, our actual sun. This is about the star Sirius, and this goes back in ancient, history and beliefs and things like that. But the Sirius sun is considered to be a spiritual sun. So, between the combination of all this high vibration and everything that's happening, it brings that in and sets us up to where we can tune in and connect with it. So that's where I am excited to share this with you today. Now, it does peak on the 8th day of the 8th month, but we're already feeling it a little bit. You may already be feeling it just a little bit, because you'll feel it building just like you do full moons, or, you know, when we go through the lunar cycle. You'll feel that energy just kind of gradually building, and it peaks on the 8th. So that's where it's the strongest, just like full moon energy. And this is a highly spiritual charged energy. I mean, you will feel like there's just something, you feel like you're so close. You'll feel this, you know, I know it's there. I'm just seeing all these nuances. I'm seeing different things going on. You're noticing different things. You may be noticing the messages that are answers to things you've asked for or prayed for. And the number 8 is a symbol of infinity. What is that? The boundless, endless, goes on and on and on forever. There's no end or beginning. It just continues. So the number 8 has that infinite analogy to the soul. I mean, your soul is infinite. And so this is a very soulful time to connect, okay? It's like the forever part of you that doesn't ever stop or end. So I like that. I like that a lot. And I went, oh, I love that. And, you know, when things feel like, oh, you know, you're not going to make it, or things get really tough, this always encourages me. It's like, no, there is no end. It's just changing or transforming. And once we see that, it's like, okay, it brings hope. It does to me personally. I'm sharing something that when I see that infinity symbol, which is what I use for the picture for the show today, because I like that symbol, it just always gives me like, it's not over, it's not done, it's just changing. Changing a lot this year, as we all know, but it's changing. The other parts of the number 8 are that it is associated with abundance and manifesting and higher dimensions, higher awareness and consciousness. So it makes the Lionsgate portal, the 8-8, a very potent time of highly charged, high vibrational frequencies that you can tap into, and it makes it a little bit easier if you've been feeling disconnected, if you've just been feeling like, well, you know, I feel disconnected from my soul or my angels or my guidance. It's a little bit easier to go through with that, and you feel that you're closer. It just helps, okay? It's putting us into a receive mode, really, where you're receiving more instead of you're always putting the energy out, but are we stopping and hearing, or have we felt disconnected from that assurance or that intuitive information that we've been trying to tap into? Remember, this whole year has really been bringing us into situations where we have to trust our own intuition and what we're receiving from inside of ourselves. So this isn't any different. This is continuing to take us into that. So numerology wise, that number, that infinite, that abundance, this is wonderful energy for setting intentions for where you want to move forward. And what are you focusing on? You want to put that intention on what you want, focused on, that's positive, where you want to be, where you want to go. We've been talking about that for a bit, but it never stops. We are always creating constantly with our thoughts, what we focus on, what we just feel like we can't stop, and that's positive or negative, whatever it is you're focusing on. If you just can't get over it, if you just want to stay looping in that same thing that makes you miserable, you'll feel that more. That's what you're going to see in your reality. So, obviously, and that's really not like some kind of special magical thing. It really makes common sense. Whatever you're focusing on is what you're going to notice in your life. That's creating your reality. So it's really a common sense thing, really, when I think about that. Like, just that's logical to me. I'm all about like spirituality, metaphysics, and the energy, but the logical part too. That's important in my personal spiritual growth, is that we feel balance. I feel balance. I'm using all of these gifts that we've been given in this world. So that's what we're starting with. So, and we're going to talk a little bit about the star, the spiritual sun, Sirius. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I want to welcome everybody. So that's kind of where we are today. I want to welcome everyone because there's really been a lot of energy. If you missed the last week's show, we talked about the first couple of weeks, starting with the full moon. We did a little bit more on that full moon and things that were happening at the beginning of the month. This is on the 8th, so we're going to focus on this part today. And as we go through August, it just keeps going. So, every month has been like that this year. Yes, it has. I've found that to be fascinating. The angels that we'll be working with today, of course, are Michael, but also Gabriel. Gabriel's coming through again this year, this month, this week, because it's a communication thing. The listening, receiving is also communication. So pay attention to how you feel through the chakras. We're going to talk about how we can use this energy today, how we can work with our chakras on this, especially the heart chakra. But communication, that is going to be your throat chakra right here. So if you feel things like right in here, I find that interesting. A lot of times that will manifest in ears, nose, throat, and it's a little bit like weird this year because if you have a tickle or a cough, you're like, and you don't want to go worst case scenario, but also we're trying to be careful this year with everything going on. But throat chakras can do that because it's clearing energy out. Heart chakras, emotions can release a lot, especially heart chakra with this one. So we're going to talk about that. There's a lot here that I want to share, and I'm looking forward to it. So welcome to the show. If you are joining us in any of the video live streams, our network, Transformation Talk Radio, is streaming over on Facebook, so you can see it there. We're also on YouTube. I've got my YouTube channel up, and I have the live chat open over there, so I want to welcome everyone that's there already. Hello, and it's good to see you guys. We have a few going on here. Wow. So everybody's still joining into the show, but that's what we're talking about, this Lion's Gate. It's 8-8 energy, the infinite symbol, the infinity, the endless, the boundless. Nothing ever ends. It's really related to your soul. Your soul never ends. It continues. We're just seeing a lot of transformative change. We're just evolving. We're discovering things about ourselves this year that we never knew were there. So I want to take a quick break, and then when I come back, we'll really start into this. I'm Dr. Jenn. You're listening to the Jenn Royster Show. We will be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JennRoyster.com for more information.
And welcome back to the show. Okay, we are talking about the Lionsgate Portal 8-8 and all the things that we can do with that. And I see one of the questions, we're going to get to some of the questions. I won't be able to do too many. I'm going to do a few. But I do see one question in the YouTube chat, and I just want to say, everyone over there sending love to Jules. We're all sending love to you. I'm sending you a big burst right now, but I'm actually sending it to everyone that feels like this. She is asking, can the angels please help? I'm 59, single, and struggling with loneliness and depression. I have fear about my future. Thank you. Well, you know what, Jules? I'm glad you're in the show today, because the parts that I'm going to talk about with the heart chakra are going to help you tremendously, because this energy right now, and I really want you to put some intention into this, and we can all do this. We can do it for one another. We can do it for ourselves. But the Sirius with the spiritual sun that I was talking about, let's talk about that a little bit. Now, I want to talk about it. It will answer your question, so hang in there. First of all, it's one of the brightest stars. Sirius is one of the brightest stars in the sky, okay? Known as the spiritual sun, okay? So it's not about the physical, it's about our spirituality. So when that is prominent, the ancients used to look at this as the Sirius rising at the time of the year was special and sacred. It was a special occasion. And here's what was interesting. It marked the start of a new year. They would observe things with Mother Earth. They were very connected more. This is ancient history with this. And here's the part that I found interesting. So listen up. In ancient Egypt, the rising of Sirius, it also coincided with the Nile flooding. Now, I want everybody to think about it, especially here where we are in this country, in the States. I mean, we see flooding, it's like, oh no, oh no. They didn't look at the flooding of the Nile that way. It wasn't negative. I'm not saying floods aren't great, but, you know, they're looking at it as a gift. They looked at that flooding and aligned it with that spiritual sun, Sirius, that star, as prosperity and fertility. They looked at the flooding of the Nile as a positive for the lands. And I thought it also aligned with their pyramids. I thought that was really interesting. That's ancient history, but I thought, they had a positive attitude toward it. Why can't we have some more positive attitude? We always look at everything as awful. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And when we are going through something very tough, like if we're finally, like Jules is talking about, we finally find ourselves single by ourselves, okay, we're at this other phase of life and we're like, what are we going to do now? Honestly, Jules, when I ask for that guidance and that support from the angels for you right now, I hear it's about to just completely change for you in a very positive way. You're still healing and releasing pain and feeling lost without someone there. Being single when you feel like it was sudden or not what you chose and we get thrown into it, whether it's through a breakup or a death, we still are processing like, wait, I didn't choose that. Now I'm thrown into this and it feels like it hurts more, a lot more. I understand that. There's a grieving process that comes with that. Michael comes in very strong for this and brings in that support that he wants me to say, Jules, you are so very loved, but being in a single state right now is actually going to be good for you for a little bit, not for long, not forever. But, you know, honestly, there's these things to discover about yourself that you never could when somebody else was around. Or you were in things that were difficult or dysfunctional or whatever it might have been. We don't even need to know what that is. But I wanted to tell you, there are these beautiful, beautiful things about you that they're just hidden in there. And this is an opportunity with this energy to release the pain in the heart chakra. So if you were to close your eyes from now and do this every day, this is what I'm getting for you. I'm getting this from Gabriel and Michael. Close your eyes every day for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Focus here on the heart chakra where all those emotions are. And the fear would be the third chakra right below it. So they're kind of intermingled. The fear is you're not sure what to expect. But fear sometimes comes from we haven't let go of the way it was. And we can't identify with being in a different place or a different status, like single. I'm not saying this is overnight. I know you've been feeling a lot. And I totally feel you. I understand that. But he's saying that this 5 or 10 minutes, you focus on that heart chakra and focus on it just opening up, and that they will be right there with you. And just let those floodgates open up and release all that pain. Make sure, if you can, if it's possible, to have a few minutes by yourself. So if you need to scream, cry, whatever, you can do it. You need to hit something, get a pillow so you can pound it without hurting you or anybody else or anything in your house. So I'm not kidding here. Sometimes that physical just outcrying, and sometimes it just feels like you just, it can do wonders to move the energy that feels stuck. And right now with this energy coming in with the lines, and it's already there, and it's the 6th, so that's just in a couple days where it peaks. So start doing it today. And anybody that's feeling this, because the depression comes from feeling helpless, because we're afraid and we don't know how to do this differently. Fear is an energy that can be shifted, and sometimes what helps is, I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes it's a feel the fear, do it anyway. That's where your courage comes in, and we have a Leo influence here that can help you with your courage. But I know that sometimes you can just feel so isolated and no support. What I love right now is I'm seeing everybody pouring out that support to you, that's over listening to the show with you over in YouTube chat. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for joining me so we can lift another. We have a beautiful group that shows up in there pretty regular. So I want to say thank you to every one of you, because when we send out love, we can receive love. And that's what I'm picking up from that. So they both are like, you're totally supported. You're absolutely supported. So you were married for 30 years, so it's definitely a huge change. I get that. That is a lot to be the same way for that long. But I think I honestly feel like your life is just beginning. It's just realizing that you got to give it a chance. You got to give you a chance. You are not a failure without somebody else there. You actually are going to find some strength there. But there's a process of getting rid of the old mindset, and sometimes just like, I'm scared to death to do this, but I got to do it anyway, can be one of the most liberating, empowering things to do. Start with something smaller, but give it a shot. And please keep tuning in and let us know how you're doing, because you are not alone. If you're listening to this show and you're joining these people that come in every week to do this, you are not alone. We are all going through these different things, and we're all on the same path. Like-minded people are going to congregate in different shows like this. So this group is a beautiful group that does that. So you are not alone. You are never alone. Okay? All right. So let me keep going. Let me keep going with some of this now. Now, it's interesting because I'm telling you about Sirius, okay? I'm telling you about that part because it gives why this is such a cool time with the Sirius energy. If you think about that phoenix, the great phoenix out in Egypt, it has a lion look to it. I mean, that's Leo zodiac. You know, it's kind of interesting how this thing is just kind of coming together. So that's a big important star or spiritual sun in that culture and in ancient times. So it wasn't just them, though. It wasn't just Egyptians that, revered the Sirius for this. It's all across the Mayans, all kinds of different ones. I mean, there's a strong connection to this star. And I find that interesting because this is all scattered all over the world. And there was also pyramids in Mayan culture too. So that's interesting. So why is this Lionsgate portal bringing awakenings and lifting our consciousness to new heights? Because here's a few things we can do to set our intention. Now, this is where I really want to focus and give you the information, guys. Everybody, listen up, because you can apply this to whatever's going on for you, okay? These are the things that you want to work on with this energy to set intention, to work with this Lionsgate portal, and to really make the most out of it, all right? First of all, the heart chakra that I was talking about. It activates the heart chakra. The Lionsgate portal activates the heart chakra, so that's going to bring up the pain and wounds, which might be why Jules is feeling the way she is too. If you were to go into this and you thought, okay, so old wounds, current pain is going to all come up for healing and releasement, you will feel that when it comes up, but then it's not to hold it or try to stuff it back down. It's to let it go. You may finally find that you're going to be free. You'll have that ability here to be free of that grief and sadness, that pain, that hurt, that broken heart, that kind of thing. That everything that Jules was describing, actually, but not just that type of pain, all of it. So you want to ask for intention to clear and open up, clear all the blocks that are running through that heart chakra. I'm highly recommending that everybody take a few minutes starting today and do it at least once a day through the next week, because you'll feel this energy after the 8th as well. Here's another one that we can do. Now that's for all that pain and suffering that we feel bogged down by, that can cause all of those things. Third eye, your second sight, okay? That can awaken. Now we got this going on. They can activate the third eye chakra, which is right here, 6th chakra. You'll feel more intuitive. You'll learn something new about how intuition is trying to get your attention and speaking to you, and you're listening and getting these answers. You put that intention to open and work with the third chakra if that's what you're trying to do. You want to be able to listen and hear your intuition that comes from within. And this is a great opportunity to practice that. You might notice different things that are just happening around you that you didn't notice before. And you're like, you know what? That happens every time, blah, 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 And this is how it can work with you. For me, it works with nature and animals, plants, wildlife, all kinds of stuff. But then also it can just be random information. It'll feel like it just downloads. You'll get all this random information as you sleep, and you'll wake up and you go, oh, that's the answer I was looking for. This could be more active at this time because of that third eye opening up and awakening. So you want to put some work on opening, clearing the third chakra for that. It's an intention you set. Michael can help you clear a lot of the things away, especially fear, heavy baggage, lower frequencies. Michael's wonderful for that. So please ask, okay? Just ask him. Now you have 7 main chakras. Let's keep going because I really want to get this out for you. You have 7 main chakras, okay? But there's also chakras above that. You got 1 through 7. It starts at the base of your spine, goes to the top of your head, 7. 1 is at the base of your spine. And then above that, you have more. So this particular energy can activate and awaken more of the higher chakras. You have 8, 9, 10, there's several. Well, there's more, I think, out there than we even know. You have them in your hands. You have them, they're all over. There's a lot of different chakra energy points. You don't need to worry about understanding every single one right this minute, but just know that that'll awaken too. In the 8th chakra, 9th chakra, the 8th chakra is where I see where we have, that's like that history of us, you know, like our soul contract. And then if it moves up into the 9th and coming back through into the 10th, if you think about it, the number 9, and then you start back over, that energy from old past lives and old things moves forward, and we bring it into this life, the things that we experienced and learned. And I've seen that. I've experienced that with people that I was working with. I've experienced that with myself. So this can open that up. It will open up when it's ready for you to open up. You don't have to try and make anything happen. You just have to have that intention and be willing to go with the flow. Be flexible with this energy and let it show you what it wants to show you. So things like that are wonderful. Now, if you have any kind of psychic ability or intuitive abilities, it could wake up and you will receive more of that. You might get a visit from somebody. You might have more dreams. You might have more visions. You really want to pay attention to things like that as they're happening. When you meditate, it's a lot more, you'll feel it a little bit more. You'll feel like you went somewhere. You don't have to try. You just have to go with it and allow it. Remember, it's not a doing, it's a being. Things like that are going to happen. It's one of the strongest vibrations that's coming. And it's wonderful for putting the intentions and manifesting. Manifesting where we want to be, where we want to go. So if things are looking like, I don't know if I want it like that, you know, I want to change it up, now's the time to really take some time with that. Now, it also has a peaceful vibration to it. Spending time with meditation or in nature, anything that settles you. Go with that. It restores your mind, body, and soul. It brings balance back in. It helps you. It helps you a lot. You may even find that if you're trying to figure out something with technology, and here's another one that's cool. If you're trying to maybe you're trying to start something like a new website, or you're trying to learn how to do something with technology, this is a great energy to take advantage of for that. It'll be easier to wrap the brain around it if it's really new to you, or you're trying to accelerate your skills, or you're trying to move into something else. This is a creative time. What kind of creative project are you trying to do? If you have one that's been sitting on the shelf that you want to do, this would be a good time to join into that. There's all kinds of energy with this Lionsgate. It's an abundance of manifesting with intention that's attached to this. I like to put up the infinity symbol and help it remind me, you know, like I love that symbol because it really, like I said earlier, brings hope to me and lets me know that it's never gone. It's just changing. I just don't know the ins and outs of the change, and I'm going to be surprised. Yes, maybe so. So it's just a matter of just allowing it to show you what the potentials are for you. So let me take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to keep going. So let's see how this is going now. We have a lot to talk about, and I really want to get this out to you because it's really good energy. It's a really good topic to share with you. And we all could use some positive vibes and some inspiration on how we can work with this. I'm Dr. Jenn. You're listening to the Jenn Royster Show. We'll be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JennRoyster.com for more information.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, we talked about some things we could focus on, different chakra points that could be activated with this Lionsgate portal. And what we want to do is set intentions for how we want to manifest with that. So let's go over in this last part a few things on how we can approach that. So I did see that also asked, and we were going to do that, but I see that asked, Yuri in the chat asked, let's see, he said a couple things. I was only aware of this just a few years ago, but still don't understand it completely till now. How can I use this to manifest important things like a career that is in alignment with my life purpose? Okay, that would be working with those chakras and the intuition, so you'll know exactly which direction to go. So we did answer that, but it's like that's exactly what we want to do. We want to work with intention to align with the soul purpose for the career. You want your career and your soul purpose to be one and the same. Sometimes they're not one and the same. You're asking for them to be one and the same. So you ask. You absolutely ask. He also added to that, can you suggest a ritual process or technique we can use to manifest something important in this gate, in this Lionsgate portal? That's the intention with the meditations, absolutely. I said it a few minutes ago, but I want to remind you and just repeat it. Look for the infinity symbol. I like this one for the Lionsgate because it really represents, to me, the Lionsgate portal, and you can associate it that way. This is just a suggestion, or you can use anything else that you want to work on to focus. Sometimes with meditation, you know, you've heard in the old school where you like focus on a candle, you know, candle flame or just something. With this particular Lionsgate portal, I really like using the infinity symbol, which is the figure 8. You can also just put number 88 up because that's the abundance symbol in numerology. So you're focusing on the energy of that number to receive that energy and to align with it. So what we're doing is we're aligning with a frequency to manifest what we want. That's how you do it. You're aligning with the frequency of what it is you want to manifest. Okay, how do we do that? That's what I'm talking about. You're working with, you want the intuition, you want that connection, you want to work with that activation of your chakras so you can acknowledge and hear it and notice it. And it helps you become more aware. There's an awareness that happens when you're spiritually waking up or waking back up or realigning. You realize, oh, yeah, there is more detail and nuance that, you know, you're not just rushing by things, you're paying more attention to different things. Like this morning, I woke up to, it had to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dragonflies everywhere. We had heavy rains. I'm sure mosquitoes were going on out there, but we had so many I love dragonflies. They're a symbol of transformative times. That my backyard was so full. They were everywhere and they were huge, big ones. And I went, wow. And it just made me smile. It just made me smile. Now you can look at that, for example, and see, oh, look at all the dragonflies. We must have a lot of mosquitoes. You know, you might think that way, which, yes, that's what they eat, is mosquitoes. But there's also, they're coming in and sweeping away something that's a pest or that bites or hurts. And, you know, everything has a purpose in life, including the mosquito, believe it or not. But, you know, I found that very interesting. It's a very transformative time. Yes, it is. But there were so many. I've never seen this many at once, but there was a lot. And I saw that as a message for me personally. I'm sharing it with you, but it felt personal, but at the same time, I'm just sharing open book with you about that. It wasn't something, because a lot of times I'll get things like that and it'll say, share it with the group. Yesterday, beautiful white feathers. And the white feathers, it was a soft white feather. It was a beautiful white feather. I see feathers a lot, but you don't always see the white ones in certain specific places. And it was just right there in my path. And I smiled again. I knew angels were letting me know, because I've been asking and aligning and thanking them for the way they watch over us. And they let me know we're right here, walking right with you. And it was just a beautiful experience. So those are like examples of how it can come in and you can start to notice it easier. So if you were to take that infinity symbol or anything else you want to use, and you may want a picture of the star Sirius because it's the spiritual sun, you know. But if you were to put this up and just help it remind you, use it as a screensaver, print it out and post it somewhere. Just have it around. Draw it with your hand. You know, like take a pen or pencil and just draw the figure 8. Just draw the infinity symbol. And as you're drawing it, this is like an active meditation. I'm giving you all kinds of examples here. As you're drawing that, you're putting your energy physically out. And it really helps sometimes to do it this way. And you're putting it on paper. It's not automatic writing, but you're putting that intention out into the physical world. But as you're thinking, as you're drawing this symbol, you're just going over the lines. You're thinking about the things that you want to manifest. Or you're thinking about the things you want to release on one loop and what you want to bring in on the next loop. This is what I'm releasing out to make room for this. Out, and see? You can just keep going and going and going and have fun with this. You want to work with it the way that works for you. These are things that I would do, and sometimes we're just sitting there and we need something to keep our attention to it. You can do that. And then if something comes to you, you may want to journal it or record it somehow. You might feel inspired to try something different. You might feel, oh wow, okay, I need to do that different, or I just need to stop that. Whatever comes through, let it come through and jot it down if you need to. Putting that intention out there that you want to receive a clear communication. So in Yuri's question, it would be because he wants to align his soul purpose with his career. So what I would do is put that clear intention that that's exactly what you want. My intention is to align my soul purpose with my career. I'm not quite sure what that is, or you do already, whatever. Or how can I go about it? Fine tune it. Get detailed with it. Like plan it out like it's already going to happen and write down how you're approaching it. Like say you find out if you go there in the thought like it's already happened. Now, how are you going to implement it? How are you going to work on this every day? Put that out there because that's putting the energy and the thought into the intention. Now you're showing proactivity in your manifesting. You can do this with anything, not just his question, but whatever it is that you're trying to work on, whatever it is you want to do. Okay, so gosh, I could just keep going and going and going, but these are things that you're going to make it fun, because fun lifts you. If you're smiling and it's fun and you're giggling here and there or whatever it is, you've raised your frequency already. Because remember, with manifesting and law of attraction in metaphysics, you are aligning with that frequency to bring it in. It's an alignment of the frequency. So it can be a frequency that we don't align to because we keep second guessing or doubting it. Don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're going back and forth with that, because that happens to everybody. That happens. You just keep going with it. So I recommend, if you're really trying to bring yourself up out of a slump, do it in a fun way. You need to make it fun, silly, make you giggle, something. It will lift it and help you. It does not matter, okay? It doesn't matter because it's actually going to bring and lift it up. And then as you're lifting your frequency up, you'll be able to connect easier and easier and easier. So I truly recommend trying this. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to associate with Lionsgate Portal and to use this energy. Like say you want to just get back into the game. Maybe you've been sick. Maybe you've been struggling with this crazy virus this year, or you know somebody else has, and you guys have been going through something tough, or it's been the financial thing. You could do the same thing with this. You put that infinity symbol. Remember, this is the symbol of abundance, not just money abundance, but happy abundance, every kind of abundance there is, abundant. health abundant, bank account abundant, happiness abundant, life abundant, everything, whatever it is. You want a balance of abundance in all things, not just one. So think of it that way. And remember, what do you want versus what do you need? Make a list of that. You can absolutely manifest both, but when they align more, it's easier. Those are the easier ones to bring in quicker, I think. But you can still have the wants. I'm not saying you can't, but if you're new to this, definitely want, need. For example, I'll go back to Yuri's question again. That was a good one because you need a career, we need to make a living, and he also has a soul purpose. He wants to align them together. That's a want and a need all at the same time. I like that. So go for that. Use nature. I'm seeing some comments in there. That's great. I'm glad you guys are sharing those things. Nature is a great way to ground and get back in touch with what it's really all about. What it's really about. I mean, when we're connected and aligned like that, it makes a huge difference. If you don't give yourself time to just decompress, balance out, take some time out for, getting rid of the stress, things like that, you really want to put that time in. I've heard a lot of comments from people that I know, which was interesting. I've heard it a few times. Some people have been home, working from home for the first time for several months since March. And then they've gone back and they feel really different about it. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if I want to go back. Some of it's because they don't want to go back and be, like they don't want to get sick or you don't want to be in the group. But at the same time, there's also this, I feel different about it now. I've changed since I've been home. Pay attention to that if you're going through that, because we're changing, because that's the whole point of this year. We needed a change of mindset. We still need some things to work out, but we need to shift and change in different aspects of things. We need to shift perspective. We need to think, wow, okay, I don't have to always do it like I always did. I can do this different. I can totally change this up. That's what you want to think about. That, don't find that if you are like, that's a good example, but anybody could be feeling it in different ways. But if say you're going back and it just doesn't feel right, well, then maybe it was time for you to see or notice that so you could change it up. And people that are going through something like that, they're like, man, I don't know. Now I got to figure out how am I going to make a living and replace all that. Don't get ahead of yourself and start fretting about the what ifs before you've even applied the intention that you would like to change it and align it. Sometimes we just trip all over it because we're overthinking it. This is going to be a go with the flow energy this month. Remember, this is a go with the flow. You're putting the intention out there, being clear, and then you want to pay attention to the different information that comes in, and it will come in ways that will work for you. It won't always come in, like if it doesn't work for you that way, it'll come in a different way. So don't lock yourself into it being exactly like somebody else. We are all so unique. We're all so different. And we all have our own unique ways of finding those messages that are within us that are intuitive. So think about that. That's a big deal. So we have, Asheville, yes. Good idea. Asheville is a beautiful state, or a beautiful area in North Carolina. It's very beautiful. Anything like that that's a favorite place for you? I love beaches. I just love that salt water. That's why I live along the coast. And yes, we had to deal with that hurricane last week. We were lucky. We were ready. Had to get busy with it, and then we weren't too bad here. But a lot of people had a lot of tornadoes with that. So, and we're just still getting started with that season. So yeah, if you live along the coast in the southeast, that's just part of life. Candace, hello Candace, reawakening. That's been my most recent journey. My dog chases the dragonflies in the yard. It's fun to watch. Oh yeah, because they're big. Jody, I was at the lake a few years ago and the whole field was full. Oh, you guys are still talking about dragonflies. Okay. The dragonflies, I love dragonflies. I think they're just so cool. Dragonflies are a beautiful energy whenever I see them. Butterflies too. I have been seeing those as well. The great big ones, the monarchs. They look like they just flew out of a photography page, you know. They're so beautiful. Nature has such an artistic talent in the beauty when you really pay attention to it. Butterflies are change and metamorphosis as well, but there has been a lot of dragonfly. Pay attention to what you're seeing. What if it's something different? What if you're seeing a lot of ladybugs, or if this is something that you are interested in? Because spirit, paranormals, spirit guides like that will come through that way. I love it when they come through that way. So pay attention to what you're seeing a lot of. And then ask for, well, what is it? Like sometimes when I'll see something out of the norm, I'll say, what is it that you're trying, why are you here? What do you want to tell me? And a lot of times, once I ask that and pay attention to the message, it goes away. Like say it's a wasp or a problem with a wasp, or, something we don't want our family to be stung by. They're still here. What do I need to pay attention to that for? Or a spider or anything else. I've done that. I've really tested this out and it works. It works. I go, I've got to ask about what the message is why they're here. And then the problem goes away. Once I get the message and I take that time and that intention to understand, okay, you're here to deliver a message for me, or you're here, that's when it shifts for me. I don't know if that'll work for everybody like it does for me. That's worked for me for years and it works very well. So with that, we are pretty much out of time. I want to say thank you to everyone listening. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about the Lion's Gate. I hope you'll put your intentions out there. And I'll see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Remember to tune in each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.JennRoyster.com and TransformationTalkRadio.com.